it's Daisy, your marriage and relationship coach. In today's video, I want to really encourage those of you who have found out that your spouse has been cheating on you, and you're working on going through your healing process and trying to work with your spouse to rebuild your marriage or your relationship. One of the things that I notice people doing is, number one, feeling like they have to rush their way through their healing. They've got to be really strong and be like Superman or Superwoman and, just get through their healing process super quick so that they can just begin to rebuild this relationship, and start to show up in a more healed, put together, ready for it way. And the other thing that I see people do is almost have the feeling that they have to heal alone. So it's like they struggle with their emotions and they struggle with the healing on their own, almost curled up in a corner, and then fight their way through and try and show up in a better light and in a stronger way within their marriage. And I witnessed this happening with my clients, and I always tell them that it's not going to work. It just doesn't work. Your healing process can't be rushed. It shouldn't be underestimated, and you don't have to be super strong, right? That isn't on you to do. And I think that it's important that we don't underestimate what has happened and how this can impact you. It is likened to you going through losing somebody close to you dying. There's a grief element to this. Like with grief, there's phases and stages that you'll go through. There's typically about 7 stages to your healing process. And some people get through that a lot quicker than others. But the important thing to know here is that you don't have to, not only you don't have to, but you shouldn't be rushing through it and feeling like you just have to be this superhero kind of person. Absolutely not. And here's the danger with that. Eventually, that suit of armor that you are putting on is going to crack. It's going to fall to pieces. And all the pain and the hurt and the anger and the resentment that you've not worked through, you've just suppressed, is going to come up. But also, and what I think is the real core of this video, is the fact that there's a way that you can get through this storm that will allow you to actually become closer with your spouse, actually develop a stronger connection, and after the storm, come out of it feeling, more united and with a better understanding of each other, even though you've gone through this traumatic time. And that is by not going off in the corner and feeling like you have to heal by yourself, but actually bringing your spouse into your healing. And this is something that I really do encourage my clients to do. And I'm really encouraging you to do that if you're in this position where you just feel like you've just got to deal with this by yourself. You've just got to sort out your healing. You just need to get over your emotions. Actually, again, that's not going to work. And even if it appears like it's working in the short term, in the long term, it will come back and it will bite you, and it will bite you hard. Actually, the better approach is to say, look, how can I bring my spouse into my healing process? How can I allow them to be a source of comfort for me, a support for me during this time? And I know that sounds crazy. I know that it sounds like I'm saying to you, the very person that caused you all this pain is the very person that I want you to be going to for a sense of comfort and support. But hear me out with this. What I'm asking you to do is to, number one, not suppress and hide your emotions and your feelings and your struggles. If you're going through your day and you're really struggling with your thoughts, tell your spouse, say, hey, do you know what? Today's a really tough day. I'm struggling with my thoughts. I'm struggling with the memories. If you're feeling particularly insecure, opening up and saying, you know what? Today I really feel so insecure. If all the memories and the thoughts are just overwhelming you, and I know that that can happen, you say, listen, you know what? My mind is being flooded with questions and thoughts and memories. If you have a bad dream and you wake up and it's really impacted you because of this, trauma, this infidelity, then let your spouse know, this is what I've dreamt, this is how it made me feel, this is how it's impacting me. Now, you're not giving them all this information so that they can feel bad and so that you can use it as a weapon and so that you can punish them. But what you are giving them this information is for is so that they get the opportunity to, number one, understand what it is you're going through. I mean, they get it on an intellectual level and they can see the impact that it is having on you outwardly and on your marriage. But to understand what someone's really going through on the inside, it really takes that person opening up and saying, hey, this is what I'm going through, and allowing them to walk with you through it. And so you sharing that with them is giving them a special insight, helping them to understand what it is you're going through and how it's affecting your emotions from the inside out on a day-to-day basis. But number two, it also allows them to, yes, be some form of comfort, allowing them to hold your hand through it, to hold you through it, to just sit with you through it, to pray with you through it, to just be there through it, is going to not only allow you to have someone there, but also to start to rebuild an emotional connection, right? It starts to help you to rebuild that unity. It helps you to go through this storm together, as opposed to you feeling like you've got to fight through it on your own. It brings them into the healing where you guys can really hold hands and say, look, let's get through this. We've decided that we're going to work on this marriage. And so the best way to get through it is together. And that means even being together during my healing, in the pain. How can we come together, right? And so it's going to mean you opening up. It's going to mean you sharing. It's going to mean you allowing them to be some form of comfort to you. And that comfort can look like however you want it to look. But that's the way that you go through a storm and come out of it feeling stronger than you did before, because you have walked together in the healing. Now, the danger of doing this on your own and just feeling like, they can't be involved in your healing is that you heal with your defenses still really high, right? You heal with your guard up. You heal without learning to be vulnerable again. Okay. And that in itself, again, is not going to allow you to experience the marriage stronger than before the affair that I experienced and the clients that work with me experience. If you want to not only get past this infidelity, but actually create a marriage that is stronger than it was before, this is an opportunity to learn how to support each other on an emotional level and therefore build a tighter connection and relearn how to be vulnerable with each other again, which is going to radically impact your intimacy and your relationship. If this is something that you're struggling with, I absolutely want you to reach out to me. I offer a free breakthrough call where we can talk about what it is that you're going through, either as an individual or as a couple. And we can talk about where it is you want to take your marriage through. I can absolutely give you some clarity and guidance on how you can do that, and talk about my Repair After an Affair program that will work with you through your healing process and help you to not only rebuild your marriage, but actually create a marriage that is stronger than before the infidelity, than before the affair. And many people struggle with that concept, but I'm working with clients every day who are absolutely doing what myself and Mr. Chuako did, and going on and enjoying an amazing, flourishing relationship. Hit the link in the description if that's something that you're interested in. If you're not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell so that you can be notified every time I do a new video. I'll see you next time.